I could tell you about years of being a radical leftist activist. I was pretty radical, you know. Like I used to shut down your shareholder meetings. And Medea Benjamin and other really prominent people on the left used to bring me in to figure out how to do it. And I really believed that the worst thing for this world was our country. That's what I believed. And I believed that you were racist. I frequently, when I talked privately with my friends who were very prominent leftist people and funders, I frequently called police pigs. I did that. So next thing you know, I found myself in the informant program of the FBI as an operative. And next thing you know, they seemed really interested in a lot of the experiences I'd had. They put me with the International Terrorism Division. In the 2008 Republican National Convention, how many of you realize there was a bomb plot against the delegates? A few of you do? How many of you realize that left-of-center activists organized with the explicit stated goal of preventing you from exercising your constitutionally guaranteed rights by any means necessary? You realize that? How many of you realize the only reason you were able to meet was because law enforcement agencies and the FBI like busted their butts to make sure people didn't stop you and hurt you? How many of you realize that? Very few of you realize that. Okay, well that's what happened. People set out from across the country, and a group called United for Peace and Justice has a woman named Lisa Fithian on their steering committee, and they organized the overall democratic protest of the RNC in '08. But that woman also helped organize and train, you know, the 500 to 1,000 anarchists who showed up from across the country, called the RNC Welcoming Committee. And they went there with the explicit stated goal of shutting you down. A bunch of them made bombs, and they all got caught, you know?
Because we saw a breakdown of the system that was so concerning. I'm raising 2 young children. They need to be able to vote and have that vote count. And it is human nature that when you do not have honest eyes on the process, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and we cannot turn that over. Our system has always been designed to be worked by volunteers, but we've forgotten that in our lives of convenience. And so now is the time to get back in and, as we like to say, true the vote. So it's all hands on deck of the true the vote model. So when you come, you're not going to walk away just with a bunch of feel-goods. You're going to be walking away with the tools to actually take and true the vote in your community, or at least begin that process, because it is a multi-layered process, but it is a dramatic step in the right direction. So it's going to be time to set up these 22 points, and the stalwart politicos of our community said, you know, you really want to go with your top 4 or 5 because you're never going to get 22. So go with your top 5. And we said, well, we really actually have a top 22. And so we've continued to work with that, and at this point, every single point's being carried by somebody. Earlier, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, our initiative is very, very simple. It's go and work at the polls. We all play by the same rules. Let the best man win, bringing the system back in line with how it was always intended to be. That should be very, very simple. It should be very easy to understand, and it shouldn't be at all threatening. So it's very curious. You know, my father always said you could judge a man by the enemies he makes. How can you be against truth?